Hey guys, and welcome back to Purrcraft. So obviously, this is not exactly my skin, and this episode is not going to be gameplay based. It is going to be me talking to you guys about something that happened. So, today's date is the 21st of August, 2020. Now, as you all may know, or may not know, the Midwest experienced something very disastrous on the 10th, I believe, of August. On the 10th of August, we were hit by a derecho. So some of you might not know what a derecho is. Basically, a derecho is an inland hurricane without an I in the middle. So we were hit by this hurricane. It was about a Category 3 or Category 4 hurricane, and the winds, at first they said they were reaching up to 115 miles an hour, but now they're saying around 140. I live in the middle-ish of the Midwest, but it went all through the Midwest, and it just devastated so many people. I personally was not at home at the time. I was spending time with my boyfriend, and he lives like 2 hours away, and so I was not home when this occurred. Where my boyfriend and I were, it did not seem like that bad of a storm. It seemed kind of bad, but it seemed like it was maybe 70 mile per hour winds. Nothing too catastrophic. However, it took the power out, and it was said that the total number of people without power reached 1.2 million. And I think that was just in the state that I'm in. But it was catastrophic. And so I wanted to take this episode to tell you guys my thoughts about it, spread awareness of it, and just tell someone about it. So immediately, what happened was I was staying over at my boyfriend's. Stupidly enough, the night before this storm hit, I had not charged my phone at all. So I woke up to my phone being at 15%, and then the power went out. And I'm like, geez, the power's gone out. Like, I'm not going to be able to charge my phone. How am I going to get in contact with my family? Because I planned on staying at my boyfriend's for a week. That could end up changing because I didn't know if my family would need me. I didn't know if my boyfriend's family would need me. I just didn't know at that point. It hit where I was at about 10 or 11 a.m. I would say like 10 a.m. And it stopped around like 11-ish a.m. But my boyfriend and I slept through almost all of it, which to me says, hey, this isn't a very bad storm. However, when it got to be like 1 o'clock, my boyfriend was getting messages from his family saying, oh my gosh, this storm is insane. And then after everything happened, after we were able to get cell signal and our families were able to get cell signal, our families messaged us and were like, hey, look at the roads, look at our houses, look at the buildings, look at what happened here. And it was crazy to see that there were so many trees down, there were so many power lines down, there were so many live wires that were just laying in the street. There were so many just hazards everywhere. And it really just felt like the world was ending, at least to me. And my boyfriend was worried about his family, and the thing was, he had to go put gas in his car. You can't put gas in your car if there isn't electricity because the pumps don't work. So we were stuck there until the power came back, which luckily the power came back the next day, but it was still, we were both kind of like, hey, we should probably go, like, check on your family. I knew when my family sent me pictures that there wasn't that much, like, wrong. I mean, like, things were wrong. There was a tree down, or there were limbs down, but it wasn't, like, catastrophic. The power was out, of course. So then the next day, they restored power to where my boyfriend and I were staying. And his family lives maybe like 15 minutes away from my family. So we said, hey, like, should we go now? And my boyfriend was worried about his family, and we just both kind of decided, yeah, we should definitely go. So we did. We drove 2 hours, came back, and when we got back, his family was really worried about him, and they hugged and they cried, and then we got put to work because my boyfriend's family had lost, I think, maybe like 5 to 10 trees in that whole thing. So we spent that day with like 7 people, I think, were also helping. Just cutting up limbs and just like moving them into piles. And then people went home. I stayed with my boyfriend's family because my house did not have power, and I live on the 2nd floor, so it would be quite hot. The high that day was around like 80 or 90, so I knew that my room would be extremely hot, like my bedroom would be extremely hot. So my boyfriend's family was kind enough to let me stay there. Then the next day, we had 4 to 5 people helping, and we just kept doing the same thing. We kept moving branches into piles, cutting up branches, cutting up logs, just trying to organize things. Then the next day, I think that we were down to just about like 3 to 4 people, because a lot of other people at this point were starting to get power, or they were just unable to help, which I understood. I understand that some people have their own trees that they have to take care of, and they had their own everything to take care of. So that day, same thing. The next day, it was down to just me and my boyfriend, and then it was pretty much down to me and my boyfriend the rest of the time that I stayed there. I ended up staying there from, my boyfriend and I went back on the 11th to help out his family, and I ended up staying until today, which is the 21st. I had been staying at my boyfriend's place that was 2 hours away since the 7th. So from the 7th to the 11th, I stayed at my boyfriend's place, and then on the 11th, we went back to his family's. Then from the 11th through the 21st, I was staying at his parents'. So I stayed there over a week. We just worked pretty much every single day. Today and yesterday we took breaks because we were just so burnt out from working. There wasn't a whole lot that we had to do anymore. It was more just raking and like moving the piles of branches and logs. We had cut them all down to size. It was just a matter of getting them from like the side of the house to the back of the house where they were going to burn them. So the damages to my house were just the power went out. The power was out for about a week. It was out from the 10th until the 19th, so a little bit over a week. And my boyfriend's power was out from the 10th, I believe, until like the 13th or 14th. It might have been longer, but it was not out for as long as my power was out at my house. I'm sorry that I've been absent this past month, pretty much. Big things have been happening and I do not have cable or internet right now, so I'm not sure when this is going to be going up. That's also why I don't have my scan, is because I don't have internet. I will hopefully get it up within the next week, as long as we get cable and internet by then. Otherwise, that is kind of my side of the story. It was definitely an adventure. The graduate school that I am going to this fall has postponed classes because classes were supposed to start on the 24th. The classes are now starting on September 7th. Hopefully, things will be somewhat back to normal within the next week. I just thought that you guys should know what all has been happening, why I've been kind of absent from this channel for the last month. It's been a crazy last couple weeks, and I really hope that everyone is taking care of one another, even though we're in the middle of COVID. I hope that people are helping out where they can. I hope that everyone is wanting other people to be okay, wanting other people to succeed in their attempts to get back to normal. I'm really thankful that my boyfriend's family took me in for so long and gave me a place to stay, gave me a hot meal when I would not have gotten it at my house. And I think that about does it for this episode. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. 2020 is shaping up to be a crazy year. It was already crazy because of COVID, and now it's even crazier because we had an inland hurricane. It's just a very crazy year. I hope that 2021 is better. I hope it brings better things. So thank you all for tuning in, for listening, for sending your best wishes if you are, and thank you all for being here with me as I ramble. I promise the next episode will be back to normal. I have no idea when that'll be, but I promise it will be back to normal gameplay. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. I love you all.